What up, G Life? It's your boy, I'm Shadow, back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, make sure you guys comment, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out the playlist where I have all my videos in different folders. Makes the video you're looking for a lot easier. And make sure you guys hit the subscribe and like. You know what I mean? It does help my channel get into the algorithm. It's free. It don't cost anything. You can just tap it right now, as quick as that, and it will be doing a lot, my boy. You know what I'm saying? Now, the psychology, right? Like the title says, the government's, secret agendas and stuff like that. I have said, I study, psychology. I only like breaking down like the ones that I exceeded in, you know what I mean? Heavily exceeded in, because there's certain, projects that, I've done horrible in. Just, everyone makes mistakes. We're not all good at, everything, and, you have to take the losses, and learn from them, to better yourself. Never failed anything but, D's and stuff like that, So there's certain, there's different elements to when it comes to psychology, right? When we're talking about the, psychological mind and everything like that. So, I have a good understanding and grasp on some of it, not on all of it. That's why I only like talking on the one that I do. You know what I mean? Now, when we're talking about the government's secret agendas, does government have secret agendas? Of course they do. You know what I mean? That's no secrecy. That's not a secret. That's not a conspiracy. Of course they have secret agendas. You know what I mean? Everybody's own self benefits. Obviously, as humanity, we are all gonna have our emotions. Are always gonna get the best of us. Whatever we think is best for us, and etc. One of the reasons why I think is wrong with a lot of countries, especially when you're voting in a president. Take our our situation, right? You have two parties. You have a Republican, you have a Democrat, who at one point, used to be able to coexist. Those days are long and gone. These days, everybody wants to be right. Nobody wants to be wrong. And no one likes taking criticism no more. Because at the same time that no one likes taking criticism, at the same time, people do not know how to criticize nowadays. That also plays a key factor. You know how some people say like, oh, well, you can't criticize people because now they get offended? It's not that. It's you have to be able to know how to criticize at the same time. You know what I mean? You can't be calling somebody a fucking idiot and then wonder why they're getting butthurt because you don't agree with them. Well, look how you're disagreeing with them, by insulting the man. Know how to criticize. You know what I'm saying? And some people, they can't tell the difference between the two, right? Like, there's some people you're criticizing them and they're getting offended. For what reason? I have no idea. I have been stuck in those situations because nowadays people think that everyone now is trying to offend them, because sadly to say, in these times, a lot of people are just trying to offend you. You know what I mean? So people just become paranoid of that. The reason why I'm bringing all of this up when we're talking about, the secret agenda and everything like that, is that now the government, has already been shown to lie to us, right? So now people think just because the government has been shown to lie about us about some stuff, people think that they're lying to us about everything. Kind of like when people, offend somebody, and then now people think that everyone's offending them. You know what I mean? So just because, some people, were shown to, have secret plans and agenda, doesn't mean that everything's a lie and that there's all kinds of secrecy going on and etc. You know what I mean? You have to be able to tell the difference of what the government is lying to you about and what they're not. You know what I mean? And people can't seem to tell the difference between none of it. That's why just because the government has lied to us about certain things, people think that the world is flat. People think that lizard people exist. People think that people think all this and that, just because, and their evidence is, well, can't you see the government has already been shown to lie about us about this before? They're using that to justify for this. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, do you hear yourself? Now, the thing is that there's certain people that are not looking for the truth, right? When you're going into psychology, remember this: when you're trying to get to the bottom of something, or you're trying to get to understanding about somebody or anything like that, go into the conversation not knowing that you're right. Don't tell yourself that you're right? Like, if you want to find the truth about something, don't go in thinking that you already know what the truth is. You don't know what the truth is. You don't know the full story of anything. Go in with an open mind. You know what I mean? Go in, actually listening, because like that, you actually listen. When you think that you already know what's going on, that you know the truth, that you know this and that, you're not going to be listening to the person that, or any information that you're gathering. Because in your head, you're already thinking, you're reading this, you're like, yeah, right, that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You're not really listening, bro. Because you already have your mind made up. You're not seeking the truth. What you're seeking is you're seeking for the information to show that you're right about how you're viewing the things. And that doesn't make it right. You know what I mean? When you're trying to gather information, you have to be able to know how to gather information. So never go into a conversation feeling like you're right, feeling like yours is the real version of the story, knowing that you know the truth. Don't go into into something already having that mind state. That's not a good mind state to have. You know what I mean? Don't automatically assume this person's a bad person or a criminal or something like that. Look, there's two ways that you can look at this. When you're judging somebody, when you're meeting somebody for the first time, and he's trying to sell you a book. You could view it from this point of view. This motherfucker's a con man, homie. He's a fucking con. I could see a con from a mile away. Or you could just see it as, man, this guy, is just trying to, get his hustle on. He really about his and everything like that. Here's how this scenario could end. He could turn out to be a con. Now you got con. I'd rather get con, right? Because it's a lesson learned, and it's their person's loss. You know what I mean? You actually believed in that person. You actually believed in their ability and all of that. You know what I'm saying? You actually gave them the benefit of the doubt, and it's his loss, right? Because you actually had faith in what he was telling you. So at the end, he's losing now somebody that actually is righteous and righteously was looking out for you. So it's his loss at the end. At the end, people could see, you got kind of whatever. Don't worry about people's opinions. You know what I mean? Because at the end, you know who you are, and that person lost somebody that actually would have actually, done him the solid and stuff like that. Compared to where if you're being like, this motherfucker's a con and then he turns out not to be a con, who looks like the fucking hater and the idiot in that one now? You, for rushing to conclusions and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So while the other one, if you did get caught, whatever, but hey, that person lost a righteous, supporter and stuff like that. So it's their loss at the end. People could view it however they want. Don't worry about people's opinions and how they view you, or because you got caught. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they're the ones that it's their loss, not yours. Don't worry about the people's opinions. People just choose to have that mentality because they don't want to be made fun of by everyone around them. Those are people that care too much about what people around them think. And those are the ones that are so-called claim to be, they don't care about people's opinions and stuff like that. Right? So when you're going into a conversation, always go in, with an open mind. You know what I mean? Don't rush to conclusions on nobody. You don't know that individual. Get to know him first before you want to judge. That is how you go into a scenario when you're gathering information. Right? So the government, they've been shown to keep, secrets about some stuff, but not everything. You know what I mean? Because I'll tell you something. The psychological mind, right? When people are talking about these secret organizations and this secret plan and everything like that, to do that, right? You need to be, you need to have your emotions already on check, right, and aligned. Which is very difficult to do. Very few could do it. A very twisted sociopath or a psychopath. Here's the thing though. Sociopaths and psychopaths cannot work with other sociopaths and psychopaths. That's why you don't see serial killers hunt in groups, right? And even when you do get the two partnership, whether it's father and son or something like that, or these two partners that work together, because there has been some rare incidents of that. But when they interview these people, one is truly the psychopath, the other one is just trying to fit in. You get what I'm saying? He's not like his partner. He's not a psychopath. There's only one psychopath within the group of anything. Cult groups. These pack of individuals. There's always one. Alpha. You know what I'm saying? Because that alpha cannot work. Well, one leader, pues. Because that one leader cannot work with another psychopath or sociopath. And in order for you to run like this secret organization that people are talking about, why do you think, because the Freemasons, the Illuminati was a real group, why do you think it didn't last that long? Yes, people could believe that they still exist. Fuck it, whatever. I'm not here to convince you guys otherwise. I know I'm not going to be able to. those that's why it didn't last that long, because when you have sociopath and psychopath, they cannot work with another psychopath or sociopath. You get what I mean? That's why when Hitler's generals were moving up the ranks and become as twisted as him, Hitler would have them killed, because he seen that they were, nah, you know what? This motherfucker's getting too much to be like me, homie. And if there's one thing I know is that if there was another me, I wouldn't be able to trust me. So I'm gonna take me out before I get the chance to take myself out. That's how they view it. You know what I mean? They cannot trust somebody that thinks like them, because they know that they trust nobody, and they know that everyone is disposable. You get what I'm saying? So they can't have another individual that thinks like that, because if he was in them same shoes, he would take himself out. Therefore, that's why they cannot work together in a group like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why they don't like each other either. If you meet two narcissists, they're not gonna like, or sociopath and narcissist, they're not gonna like each other, bro. They're gonna have battles, dog. And that's the reason why, you know. Remember, a psychopath and a sociopath must create this illusion, and this illusion, you know, if somebody else, you know, is sick and twisted as them, then it no longer becomes their fantasy, their illusion. Now they're sharing it, and they don't like sharing, bro. You know what I mean? Their reality gets burst. You know, that they're not just this unique person that sees it this way and whatever. And that's what they don't like. They don't like their fantasy getting disrupted. You get what I mean? So that's why groups like this, I'm sorry to say, tend, you know, not to exist. And I know there's individuals out there that believe in these groups and everything like that. And the reason why they believe in these groups is there's certain individuals that they're not satisfied with the truth. No matter what the truth is, even if they get the truth story, they'll still say that that's not the truth to it, that there's something more out there. They'll keep looking and looking, and they'll never satisfy themselves. They'll never find the truth, because they're not looking for the truth, bro, because the truth doesn't exist to them. They keep saying that they want to look for the truth. They want the truth. They could keep looking. At the end of the day, even if they got the truth, my boy, they're gonna say that that's not the truth, and there's still more to the story. These are individuals that will never be satisfied. These people are not seeking for the truth, because the truth must be what they think in their head. You know what I mean? And in reality, what they think in their head isn't the truth. Is they themselves already convinced themselves that that's the truth, and they'll keep looking and looking. And that's the sad thing, though, that thought that they created in their head doesn't really exist. So therefore they're gonna keep looking till the end of time, and they're never gonna find it. You know what I mean? Because they're not looking for the truth. They're looking for someone to tell them that what they cooked up in their head is what it is. So they're looking to be right. And how could you be right if that's not what's going on? That's why when you try to argue with these people, you'll never be able to convince them, bro. Sorry to say, you just can't, unless they themselves realize that, okay, you know, maybe I am wrong. Maybe I've been looking at this the wrong way. But that's the thing, though. People don't want to admit that what they're looking at is wrong. They don't want to admit that how they view life is wrong, how their opinion is wrong. It's okay to be wrong. You know what I mean? Everybody's wrong about something. No one's right about everything. Nobody knows everything. It's cool. It's fine. See, what happened is, in this world, we created this sense of behavior where it's an embarrassment to be wrong, because you're gonna get clowned on by, or you know, shamed, and you know, just be clowned on and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, those are individuals that clearly don't live in the real world, and it's a horrible, when you make fun of somebody for being wrong, that's horrible behavior. You know what I mean? That is like the lowest of the low. You know, don't even worry about individuals like that. Individuals like that, bro, they got their own problems. That's the reason why they turn out to be this way. You know what I mean? When you make fun of somebody for getting it wrong or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Never be afraid to voice your opinion, even if it's wrong. You at least gave it a chance, more than what they're even willing to do. You know what I'm saying? There's just, you know, all you could do is give it your best, my boy. And if you fail, you dust yourself off, you pick yourself up, and you try it again. You know what I mean? And you can fail 100 times. As long as you give it your all, keep on giving it your all. You know what I mean? Don't be like these people that fell, dusted themselves off, and said that, oh, it's because the wall has oil on it, and anybody that jumps over is gay anyways. You get what I'm saying? That's what these individuals do. You know what I mean? Because they hide their failure through comedy and shamefulness. A very good hype man. They shout it out so loud. They feel, if you say 2 + 2 is 4, and he says 2 + 2 is 5, he feels if he yells it louder than you, and he makes jokes, it starts making fun of you for getting it right, and everyone starts laughing, then automatically that makes him right that he got it right. You know what I mean? Just because he shouted it louder now and he made everyone laugh at you, he feels now that he's right about his answer. When that's not how the real world works. But that's the illusion that they create for themselves to make themselves feel better. You know what I mean? So don't feel bad about, you getting it wrong and the clowning and everything like that. So when it comes to government, there is some stuff that they hide, but it's not to the extreme, like as something, on a massive scale. Because you have to think about it like this, and use the evidence, the evidence of history throughout time and throughout your own social experiences with your group. Is it really possible to keep a secret that large of a magnitude? Because remember, in order to keep a lie like that, you have to have a lot of people on board. So what are they getting out of it? You get what I'm saying? What can you promise to them, and how are you keeping them in line? You know what I mean? Why should they follow your things and stuff like that? You get what I'm saying? If you tell 100 people your closest secret, do you really feel like they could keep that secret of yours? Honestly, truthfully, ask yourself, if you told 100 people your closest secret, do you think that they'll be able to keep it a secret? And don't lie. Answer that truthfully. Especially in these times that we live in, you already see how people can't keep not a smudge of secrecy. You know what I mean? And if these groups are based off of secrecy and stuff like that, why do they leave clues all over the goddamn place for people to find out? If they don't want to be found out, yeah, they're leaving clues all over the damn place for people to find them. A group that doesn't want to be found. You get what I'm saying? So when people look for all these secret agendas about that, they don't think it's the Russians, they think that it's a secret organization that's involved with the United States and and et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I understand that you must question things. I perfectly understand that it doesn't hurt to question stuff. But they gotta make logical sense at the end of the day. They gotta be how can I say, they gotta be questions that are at least valid. You know what I mean? That have some some form of merit to them. You know what I mean? And not just like completely like out of left field. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? That's just my opinion on why people think certain people have certain thoughts of this and that, and what's it connected to, and my opinion on it. You know what I mean? What do you guys think? What's your opinion on the matter? Leave it in the comments. And Shadow, we out.